Welcome, everyone. We have a big show for you today. My name is Nathan Gutierrez, and I'm here to talk about the industrial use of food waste. With zero waste and circular economy being the latest craze in environmentalist circles, some have proposed turning food waste into a valuable resource for industrial purposes. Things like biofuels, bioplastics, as well as industrial scale composting facilities are being offered as environmentally friendly alternatives to landfills. While there's a clear consensus that dumping food waste in landfills is harmful to the environment, I'd like to take a closer look at one of the industrial uses with biogas facilities. One of the most popular industrial uses of food waste is biomethane production through biorefineries. These facilities already exist in the United States as well as some developing countries. This method creates a renewable energy source from food waste using anaerobic digestion to create gas that can be converted into electricity or even used for cooking. One of the reasons this method is so popular is that similar refineries already exist to harvest methane from sewage as well as cow manure. Unlike these other methods, however, processing food waste through anaerobic digestion allows for the digestate or byproduct to be used as compost. So this seems like a win-win, right? Well, let's talk about it. Because we want to use the digestate for compost, this requires separate refineries to be built exclusively for food waste to avoid contamination. The cost to build an industrial scale digester and connect it to the city's electrical grid is immense. For example, the city of San Luis Obispo, California, opened a facility in 2018 and the cost was $9.28 million. With such a high cost to invest, this could lead to issues once feedstocks run low. If we run out of food waste to process, would cities or companies allow their $9 million investment to sit idle? Maybe this leads to an increase in demand for virgin organic materials, which would sort of defeat the whole purpose. There's also a scenario in which this increases food waste. People might think it's no big deal. It'll all be turned into green energy. I know I'm being very negative, but let's just try to look at this from all angles. Another potential problem is that there's some scientific evidence showing that food waste might not be an ideal feedstock for anaerobic digestion. One article published by the National Library of Medicine states that food waste characteristics lead to multiple challenges, including foaming, which can clog pipes and damage equipment, as well as acidification and ammonia nitrogen inhibition, all of which can lead to lower yields of biogas and even total digestion failure. The same study states that contaminants are known to exist in food waste, such as microplastics, antibiotics, and plasticizers, such as bisphenols, phthalates, and parabens, which are a known threat to human health. These contaminants not only threaten digestion, but they also create concerns about using the resulting compost for food crops. The proposed solutions to these challenges all involve sophisticated processing of the food waste or using different additives. But let's just assume that we can overcome these challenges sustainably. We also have to consider the environmental impacts of operating a biorefinery. One study measured methane emissions from 23 different anaerobic digestion facilities and showed that an average of 4.6% of the total methane produced is leaked into the atmosphere, with some facilities losing up to 15%. This is a serious problem as methane is an extremely potent greenhouse gas that can trap 80 times more heat than carbon dioxide. Now, it's also important to note that much of the global methane pollution is from fossil fuel extraction. And while there's an urgency to find alternatives to fossil fuels, we also don't want to overcommit to another harmful system. So, to wrap things up, I want to propose that maybe industrialization itself is the problem, and therefore maybe there is no industrial solution. Factory farming and processed foods are much to blame for our problems with the environment and with human health. While these advanced technologies and science can be helpful in making use out of what we consider waste, an underlying problem still exists with overproduction and overconsumption of food. If we're willing and able, nature can break down our food waste into compost for us without the use of sophisticated machines. While this approach may not be profitable, we have to consider what's best for our health and the health of our planet. And that's my time. Thank you for listening.